Foundation is focused not on buildings, but on people.
What we fund is talent. And if you fund talent, you fund creativity.
It's very simple. It's very vivid. A vital Greater Boston community.
If we fund young, smart people who are ambitious and are at a point in their career where they can use the funding to do better, we're unleashing a huge amount of innovation, creativity, change, transformation. The Rappaport Foundation is a small foundation with an ambitious agenda. We focus on the Greater Boston region. We leverage talent in public policy, in state and local government. We leverage talent in medical research, particularly in neurologic disease and mental illness. And we also use our resources to fund prizes for young artists to recognize their work and hope they can flourish in the future.
Young, smart individuals can bring energy and the motivation for change to what could be considered a bureaucratic organization.
Local and state government are facing an aging workforce, a lot of institutional knowledge transitioning out, and that presents a huge opportunity for new blood to shape how city and state government provide services.
When I think of the many things that the Rappaport Institute for Greater Boston does, there's nothing that I think is more exceptional than the Summer Fellows program. Here we take 12, 14, sometimes 16 students, master's students, graduate students a year, and we place them in fellowships in government around the Boston region.
The expectation is that promising scholars, young students, emerging leaders, will be exposed to state or local government, will get the bug, will get inspired, will get excited about the possibilities of government, and then, after graduation, perhaps put in a year or 2 or 5, or a career.
One of the great things about the Rappaport Fellowship, it lets you see the inside of working in government, lets you see if it's a place that you'd like to be, if it's a place where you feel like you can make an impact. For me, that was certainly true.
The Rappaport Foundation supported the fellowship, which put me into the mayor's office here in the city of Boston and jump-started a career for me in city government that's been 6 years now in a bunch of different roles. My department has now been renamed the Department of Innovation and Technology, which really represents our more central role in trying to drive government innovation, both from a technology standpoint, but also from changing how we do business because we have better tools today.
During my fellowship, I was really focused on employing a performance management program for the City of Boston's Emergency Medical Services Department.
I fell in love with municipal government more than I expected to. I worked with the City of Somerville under Mayor Curtatone on a project with their performance management department. I was able to sit in on staff meetings with the mayor and the chief of staff and a number of other individuals 3 times a week, which was remarkable. It was an experience that completely changed my life in a way.
I think I did make an impact as part of this fellowship. A lot of my time was spent encouraging the city to think about making more space at the table, to make sure a lot of the diverse voices from different religious communities are involved in municipal efforts.
Oftentimes, when you get to government and public service, the real challenge is not knowing what should be done, it's knowing how to get it done. Programs like the Public Policy Fellows get people engaged in learning that skill while they're still in school.
One of the fundamental things that I've been concerned about is to create an environment of respect between politicians, government officials, and academics, students and younger people, learning the opportunities that exist in public service, the opportunities that rather than complaining, they can change things, and that they really have to understand and have respect for politicians and what it is to be able to implement good public policy.
Rappaport Public Policy Fellows, Law and Public Policy Fellows, and Rappaport Urban Scholars have gone on to hold positions of immense prestige and power in Massachusetts state government and in national government.
some of the people we fund do important work, and we see their names in the paper, and we're very proud of them.
It really allowed me the opportunity to thrive at the Kennedy School and to take incredible classes that really translate into my job today. I hope that the Rappaport family and the Urban Scholars Program will continue, for the next generation of leaders who are coming up. And it's not just electeds, it's also just folks in the public sector who have a passion for service, who want to change the world, and that's what it's about.
I do mostly stem cell biology, trying to make neurons with the patient cells that leads to the diseases like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder.
The impact that I hope to make in the narrow sense would be with patients with movement disorders and also psychiatric disorders, because it turns out that mood and movement are incredibly interconnected.
My goal is to have computers doing the vast majority of the work in interpreting EEG data.
When you're a young scientist and you have that insight and you have that vision, if you don't move forward and you have to go through a year of government to get the kind of funding, you lose the whole momentum.
In science research and medical research, the strategy has been to endow some of the finest teaching hospitals in the world, notably Massachusetts General Hospital, Brigham and Women's Hospital, McLean Hospital, to enable them to award fellowships to promising researchers who are intent on doing things around neurology, around mental illnesses like schizophrenia, and notably around Alzheimer's disease.
The fellowship allowed me to delve into topics that people knew very little about. I had a lot of ideas to improve care for people with neurologic diseases, but it was a time when I needed skills to be effective at developing them.
I was fortunate enough to receive the Rappaport Fellowship in 2000. It was at the very beginning of my efforts to become independent as an investigator, and it really created the sort of seeds for the field of research I'm still working on now.
Now that there is less and less public funding for research, especially interdisciplinary research, it's great that individuals, private foundations are stepping in to fill that gap.
It has resulted in their being able to take their research to the next level and to end up with multi-million-dollar grants from the government. This balance between federal funding and private foundation support is critical.
Neurologic disease and mental illness are intractable diseases. There are very few remedies for them. They're poorly understood.
I believe that with the efforts of Cure Alzheimer's Fund and the researchers that we're working with, we have a good shot of ending Alzheimer's disease over the next 10 to 15 years.
In meeting Rudy Tanzi and starting the Cure Alzheimer's Fund, we actually have created an offshoot of a local foundation which has international impact.
We talk a lot about research. Our mission is research, to understand the disease and to stop it.
We use a venture capital approach because my two partners are venture capitalists. We pick the best and brightest scientists to do the work. We're not inviting proposals from scientists, but we're seeking them out. Over 10 years into our work, we've dramatically changed the understanding of the disease. So the scientists that we bet on have delivered.
Rappaport Foundation funding and support has allowed countless researchers and fellows to go on to change the world, change their communities, change medical science.
What is important for me is moving people to do something in the emotional realm, to give it the layers that it needs in order to have that interesting complexity.
Ursula von Riding-Svard has been a very exciting recipient of our prize. Her career really took off in huge ways, and she's really recognized as the world talent that our museum partner thought she might be.
The artist is important to the world. There's a string attached between the artist and humanity at large. I received the Rappaport Prize in the year 2008, and as a result, I made a piece that I call the right-armed bowl. I'm really happy for the possibility of being able to evolve and to make work that I need and want to make.
The Rappaport Prize allowed me to take my work in a new direction, allowed me to take some risk with casting actually a very large-scale piece that at the time I probably would not have been able to do. It really opened a new door for my work.
The artist on the whole has to live a life of such risk of not being able to survive, risk of not having an income, risk of not being able to find a job. The spaces that you need are way more than you can afford. Especially for the younger artists, it's not easy.
We need so much, as much help as we can get. Oftentimes my work, because it's so massive in scale, takes a lot of funds, a lot of encouragement.
Philanthropy is a huge privilege. We want it to be done with integrity. We want it to be done with good results. And it's why we partner with very highly reputable, established institutions like universities and a museum and hospitals.
My hope is that the people who have been fellows, who have formed, in a sense, a network, and who consider themselves as Rappaport Fellows and prize winners, that they will continue to enrich each other's lives and share that network, and ultimately help assume some of the responsibility for carrying on the philanthropic work of the foundation.
It's a real privilege and a pleasure for us to fund some of these people who will make a difference. And I have no idea what kind of better world they're going to create for us, but I know that they will get results that I will be proud of.
The support of the Rappaport Foundation to emerging leaders has enabled them to accomplish tremendous things in public policy, in medical science, and in the arts. It is not much of a stretch to say that the world has changed because of these investments.
All you can hope for is that you've had some positive impact on the world.